Call me crazy if you want, but I've never liked store-bought pesto. I don't know.
Susie, I know why, because homemade is so much better, but you know what's even crazier than that? Back in 2016, I was told that I had MS. Then I was told I had another rare disease that was going to leave me blind and paralyzed. So I was put on 13 prescription medications and overdosed with chemo, not even the normal rounds, overdosed. Then one day, as I was sitting in my chemo chair, manifesting and visualizing my life of normalcy back on the ocean and smelling the fresh air and breathing in those ocean scents, something wasn't sitting right. It was weird because normally I was all doped up and numb, so I wouldn't even have these feelings. Something in my gut told me to get another specialist. So I moved to California. At that moment, I was in Las Vegas. I waited 9 months to get into the specialist. Turns out I'm healthy. Nothing is wrong with me. And I couldn't believe the specialist, so then I went to see 5 more, and then I had neurologists, and then I had the top diagnosing expert in the world call me on a cell phone from China while I was at an inpatient facility with my doctor. And he says, "You're normal. You are not sick." Can you imagine? So then, of course, I have a medical malpractice case on my hands. If you're not familiar with those, if you are representing yourself, not even representing yourself, but if you have an attorney and you are not hooked up to an oxygen tank, deceased, or missing a limb, those cases are very difficult to win or to take, especially when attorneys have caps. They don't want to work X amount of hours for a minimal amount of money. So I did what I always do. I took matters into my own hands and I became an overnight attorney. I've represented myself in not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 medical malpractice cases, went over all of the information with different law firms. No one would take my case. I moved forward, did it myself. I closed those 6 cases in a record-breaking time of 18 months in the middle of the pandemic, and to this day have helped save the lives of thousands of patients. Because when I was diagnosed, being told that I was about to be blind and paralyzed, how am I going to make money? So I launched a podcast. I wanted to help other patients that were diagnosed with autoimmune diseases get organized with their medical records, feel better, and somehow make money. That show I launched back in 2017 has now been my career since. That's a blessing. But what's more important is the saving of the lives of other patients. I'm a huge patient advocate since then, obviously. And because the way I went about it, I'm legally allowed to say their names, which is more important to me than any dollar amount I could have ever won. If you want those full stories, they're available on the Kellyanne Cares podcast. You would not believe trauma I had to re-go through after the trauma of being sick. But I came out on the other side, deep breath, because I still get anxious when I tell this story, but it's so crazy, this medical system that we live in and have to go through here. But what I want you to take away from this story is that you, as a patient, always have to advocate for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. I once waited hours to get typos fixed on medical records, drugs renamed. All those little things saved my own life. I saved my own life. So I feel that because I got a second chance at life, that I'm here to do the same for others. If I have to make my own damn pesto, so be it. Also, being in the kitchen is therapy for me. I used to be a chef on yachts, but that's a whole nother crazy pesto story. So what I want you to take from this story is please always advocate for yourself and always go with that gut feeling. Because if I didn't do that, I would not be here sharing this crazy story with you today. And if you're ever in Las Vegas looking for a neurologist, please message me. So I'll tell you the ones that you should not go to. Or you could just Google Kellyanne Cares podcast and listen to them there. So advocate for yourself. Make sure those medical records are organized. Always listen to your gut and always make your pesto homemade. That store-bought shit, that's crazy. And so is this story, but I'm so glad that I'm here to share it with you today. Now I need a drink.